Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Forest Lake Morning Show. My name is Tyler.
I'm Brendan.
And we're back with some more information on the music industry, everything that's happened this week. Some big things, unfortunately, some bad things, but we'll get to that. We are going to start it off with our Billboard Hot 100, the top 10.
Mariah Carey, where you at?
Gone. To be PG about it. She is out of the freaking top
out?
10. I
Completely
couldn't be.
out?
Is she gone?
Completely?
I don't even want to look down the chart to see her there. I just know she's not in the top 10, and I couldn't be happier. There's not one Christmas song in the top 10. So what that means is Christmas is officially over. We should probably take the tree down.
Studio tree.
Flip a coin. Oh, studio tree.
Studio tree.
We don't have room for it up here, though.
We'll make room.
Oh, but if we think about this entire place as this studio, like this house as a studio.
Sure.
Guess
we'll just put it right here. We'll get rid of the setup here.
That would be kind of cool. It is a bit big. I don't know if they'd see us. Imagine if we just had an episode.
The tree.
And we're just slightly on the outside so they can barely see us.
I just put it right here. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I'll see you next week.
It is. We can make it rock and roll. Okay, so number one, surprise, surprise, Anti-Hero, Taylor Swift is back at number one. Last week it was at number 8.
Look, I think it's a good song. I don't think it's that good. Like, to be on the chart, number one, for how long?
It's been since it came out 11 weeks ago.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we don't want to hate on Taylor Swift. I personally think she's a little overrated. But, yeah, I mean, this album just isn't as good as some of the ones in the past. But it doesn't mean we should say bad things about her. I mean...
No, she's a great artist, great songwriter and everything. That song, though...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this is probably the best song on that album. It's like the only one that I see is catchy.
Yeah,
I think TikTok probably helps.
Yeah.
Number 2, Unholy. This song is still kicking around. 15 weeks on the chart. Last week was number 10. Now it's at number 2. That's by Sam Smith and Kim Petras. I don't mind that one. That's actually pretty... It's a weird song, and it's kind of cool. Even though it's very sexual in nature with what they're kind of talking about. Kill Bill, SZA, number 3, up from number 11 last week. There's a song called I'm Good. Oh, that's the I'm Good David Guetta Baby Rexha song that's somehow come around.
Baby Rexha's back?
Well, this was another TikTok trend. This I'm Good song I was hearing about.
Oh, really?
Why, you know something about Baby Rexha?
I think she's pretty good. I do like her. Got a very unique voice.
Do you like this particular song?
I don't know if I've heard that one.
I think you've heard it. You probably just can't remember it. Okay, number 5, Rich Flex by Drake, 21 Savage. Last week was at number 21. Back to number 5. Talk about a comeback. Creepin', which we've talked about, this guy Metro Boomin. He's at number 6. Last week he was at 22. Wow, we're seeing a lot of comebacks here. I mean, these songs at the last half of the top 10, all the way down to almost 40 last week, and now they're coming up. So here's another one. Harry Styles, As It Was, is at number 7. Last week it was 31. Which I find interesting.
Wow, that's a big jump.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, okay, the Christmas songs were in the top 10, but then maybe these ones would be in the teens. But no, they were down to the 30s. Die For You by The Weeknd at number 8. Number 9, Bad Habit by Steve Lacy. That was at number 30 last week.
These are kind of older songs.
Yeah,
Die For You is
that older?
I'm pretty sure that's at least a couple of years.
All these other songs I know aren't that much older. I don't know what the time frame for old is. Bad Habit, I love that song. It's good to see that one back. Number 10, Cuff It. Sorry. Cuff It. Cuff Off. My brain was like, Cuff It.
Cuff off, mate.
Cuff Off by Beyonce is number 10. So every song in the top 10 has moved up from where they were previously, which usually we see songs rising and falling, but no, this week everything has risen. I'm scrolling and scrolling. I see nothing Christmas related.
Wow.
And I don't even see Mariah Carey yet, so I'm just going to...
Shame on you
I'm
guys.
going to leave her in the past until we hear from her December 2023, or probably around November or something. That's your Billboard Top 10 out of the Hot 100s for the week of December 13th.
I like it. Diving into some news.
January 13th.
We did say at the beginning of the year that there are going to be more deaths coming up.
Do you think
we did list off a few. Do you what?
I was gonna say, should we not have said that? Like, was it bad omen to say that? Because now people have died.
Like we cursed it. I don't think so.
Okay, who do we have on the depth charts?
We're gonna carry on. Unfortunately, this week we had two pretty notable deaths. We have legendary rock guitarist Jeff Beck, unfortunately passed away at 78 years old. Jeff Beck was awesome. Jeff Beck, from a guitar player standpoint, like he was.
Some say top 5 all time.
The guitar player's guitar player is what they call him.
Really?
The guitarist is what they call him. Or yeah.
Wow.
It's cool though.
So I never really listened to Jeff Beck. I knew the Jeff Beck group. I knew he stood in for like the Yardbirds, which is a band that my dad listened to when Eric Clapton left.
Yep.
He was recommended into by Jimmy Page. His sister, as a teenager, introduced him to Jimmy Page. I didn't know that. I mean, the dude is, if you don't know him, look into his history. He's a legend in the rock
He's played
community.
with just about everyone. Like, if you follow your favorite artist, I'm sure they've posted something.
Yeah.
Of like a time they played with him, recorded something with him. Like, he was huge. He was everywhere. But that was Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck, he apparently passed away from bacterial meningitis. Meningitis.
There you go.
Yes, I'm not a medical guy.
I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, he was an 8-time Grammy Award winner and solo artist. That's a sad one.
Yeah, if there's any measure of success, I personally do think Grammys are a good one, even though that's probably not true. But 8-time Grammy Award-winning artist, first one in 1986, I believe, all the way up to 2011 was his last one. I mean, just the span of that alone, the guy is no one to be forgotten. Certainly, even though I know I don't really particularly listen to him, know much about him. Musically, I know his name. I know he's a legend, and I know my parents know him. And I mean, just maybe with the older generation,
right?
Well,
speaking of the older generation, we got the next one. Elvis Presley's only child, Lisa Marie Presley, passed away at 54 years old. 54. She went into cardiac arrest.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's young. 54.
54 is very young.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think she was married to Nicolas Cage too.
I heard that. Yeah, his ex-wife.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but I've been getting like Nola vibes, Nola vibes lately, and Nicolas Cage is just,
he's affiliated with what we talked about. Now she was a singer-songwriter, no, wasn't she? I'm
not too sure. I'm sure she was.
Yeah, not to the extent of like Elvis or any mainstream pop artist, but I never heard any of her music, so I don't really know. I barely even remembered that Elvis had a kid. He only had one. I thought Elvis was notorious, or is that Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash had a lot of kids, didn't he? With a different.
I'm not sure.
I didn't even know Elvis had a kid. So yeah. So it's a very somber time in Nashville.
Yes.
Maybe.
Memphis.
Yeah. How far is that from Nashville?
A couple hours maybe.
Did you ever go to?
Never went.
Graceland.
Right?
That's what's it called.
Yeah.
I've heard cool things about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
You never. What? You don't care?
So apparently in Nashville too, like Elvis's original studio, they were gonna tear it down and just build up condos or apartments or something like that.
The disrespect.
It was something unreal. Like Elvis's studio, you're gonna tear it down and put condos. Like what? Who are you?
They called gentrification. They just like rip. Well, maybe not. I think that's like destroying neighborhoods for like highways and stuff. Well, yeah, I guess that might be gentrification. They basically said, "Oh, this is a historic landmark." Not anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
It's now my money-making machine.
Dollar signs. Yeah, exactly.
What a dick.
It's a dick move.
That's a dick move.
I don't know if they actually, if it went through or not, but that was the talk.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. We'd have to look into that because I would be really surprised if that city let that happen.
Yeah.
Like Elvis studio.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to do some digging then. Find out Lisa Marie. There was this girl growing up, and at a very young age, that I went to school with. And I'll say this: her name was Amanda. She was a very nice girl, but she was one out of all the other kids that like was into Elvis Presley so much.
That's
coming
pretty
to
rare.
my mind. It was like, yeah, because I didn't even know who Elvis Presley was, and she was into him, and I was like, what the? And then by the time I started playing music, I had to like kind of figure out who he was and listen to him. And
if a kid is doing that at such a young age, you got to meet her parents. Like her parents probably dress up as Elvis for Halloween. Like they're the whole 9 yards. They're just into it.
I think her parents just listen to good music. They're like probably old school classic rock kind of parents. And like, hey, here's Elvis, and she got into Elvis. But it was always like
that's cool though.
Oh, you're listening to Elvis? It was always interesting. Okay, rest in peace is to the unfortunate passings of some legends in the industry. I don't know if Lisa's really a legend, but her father was a legend. So in the shadows of. But man, sad. Just sad. We shouldn't have said what we said. It was a bad omen. Bad juju, bad vibes to start off the new year that we were gonna say there's many more to come.
I mean, if you believe in that. Moving on. Miley Cyrus dropped a new single. Ugh. Yes, she did.
Flowers. I actually like it now. I told you I was going to like it.
What are you talking about? You were the most temperamental man with music I've ever heard. Try writing a song, working on it for 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole time, he's like, you know what? I love it. I hate it. I love it. It's okay. I love it. I hate it. We're not releasing it. Let's release it.
A lot of up and downs with So I'll Wait, but I do like it right now, actually. I listened to it earlier. We got the masters back. It is actually officially done. We just have to...
Can we release it?
Yeah, we can release it if you want to. Before I say no again.
I was going to say, you heard it here.
Okay, yeah, but the point of what he's talking about is that we had a sit down the other day and watch, because she dropped the music video. I think the song maybe came out a day or two prior, but the music video came out. It's obviously her doing some interesting things. I think she's just feeling herself. If you just watch the video,
that's
she's
the whole song's kind of that vibe.
It's supposedly about her ex Liam Hemsworth, so obviously it's like a good riddance. I don't need you, even though she's even singing like, I can buy myself flowers. Like she's like, I don't need you.
Yeah,
you know. So I like it.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I will say that it wasn't bad at all. Very chill vibe. That chorus melody that she had, that hook, it did sound like Bruno Mars. If I Was Your Man, that song. And
I think it's because she says the word flowers too. If you listen, when's the last time you listened to it?
You. Which one?
When was it? The other day when we listened to it?
Flowers, yeah.
Yeah. So if you listen to it again, you'll kind of hear that it's not so much with the instrumentation. But the fact that she says flowers and it's very similar, sounds like his
it's like
line.
The first line goes up, the second line goes down. Yeah.
That's why instantly the first time we heard it, we're like, did she just steal that from Bruno Mars? You know? But it is different. It would be crazy if we see Bruno Mars sues fucking Miley Cyrus for copyright.
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, but he's probably so rich, and I think that I would assume they're friends. I don't know. Who was really not friends with Miley Cyrus? But okay, so you didn't mind the song overall out of 10? Yeah, what do you give it?
Out of 10. I'd have to listen again. I don't know.
What do you give that music video?
I don't want to give it a score yet. The music video?
Yeah,
solid 10.
I know why. Go watch the music video. It is a great music video. Miley Cyrus looks great. She's obviously sounding great as she always has. Yeah. Okay, in other news, do you have anything?
Yeah. Let me get one in.
What do you got?
Quick. Sony is bringing back the Walkman, baby. They're bringing back the Walkman.
The Walkman.
The Walkman. You know those things that everyone would have around?
Listen. Keep the tapes rolling. Give me 5 seconds.
Do you have one?
Check this out.
Do you actually have a Sony Walkman right now? How come I've never seen this?
I'm only doing this because I think I don't think.
Oh, that's not a Walkman.
This is a Walkman, dude.
I mean, it's a CD player.
Yeah, it's a Walkman.
Kind of.
This is a Walkman. I had to do this because if we might have people watching this who don't know what this is.
Why do you have a CD player, actually? What do you do with this?
I buy CDs. So I put the headphones on like this. Get your jack. Okay, maybe you can educate me. I always thought this was a Walkman. Ultimate, or maybe it's called a Discman.
I mean, like that to me is just like a CD player. I think Walkman, it was like a product line that they brought out. But do you remember like specifically the yellow ones?
Was it rectangle?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
and
yellow
you put it
ones.
on your hip or something?
Yep.
They're bringing
But anyway,
it back?
Sony's going to bring it back in a new high-res streaming player form. So it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, why would they even compete with Apple?
It makes no sense. You know, so beginning of the year, I read it off a whole bunch of stuff of like what happened over the past year, and one of them was Apple discontinued the iPod, right?
Yeah.
Now, mysteriously, Sony, just happens to bring back the Walkman as soon as they discontinued the iPod. It's a little weird. But anyway, so it came out initially in 1979. There's been 400 million units sold worldwide. And so they're coming back with 2 models, right? One of them is going to be available only in Japan only. It's like a more kicked up one.
Uh-huh.
And then we just get like an American version or something.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You know how vinyl sales have like been the highest almost ever?
Yeah.
You said we talked about a couple of times. What if it's that? What if it's the vintage aspect?
That kind of is. And so they brought it back, but in like a modern way. So apparently they have some sort of audio enhancer on there that upscales all the audio that you upload. You can download music on there, upload music, but then you can also access your apps like Spotify. You can have that on there. Which you're saying, like, just use your phone.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a phone size-wise. But when you play music, like it shows like an old cassette on the top there.
It might just be for vintage reasons. Like they might be able to create it and know that people like me who buy this will buy that.
Nostalgic vibes.
Yeah, and a nostalgic vibe.
Why do you have that though?
So I can listen to CDs.
Do you actually listen to CDs?
I haven't recently, but I do love listening to CDs. I grew up the way my parents grew up on vinyl and cassette. My dad has a lot of cassettes.
Yeah.
And then, when I was growing up, it was CDs. Like getting the actual CD, the CD case, and having the album booklet in there, and like the artwork and the stories and the lyrics. Like the effort that artists put into those is fading away because now everything's digital. So it means something to have a tangible aspect of music.
So like Coldplay comes out with a new record tomorrow.
I will buy the CD.
You'll buy the CD, but you'll listen to it on your phone.
Yeah, more just because of convenience. But like I love the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right. I think you can see it on the camera here. We have ours. 3 of the things we worked on in CDs. Yeah. CD format. It's you can put so much more creativity into what you're making, which is why I hate the way the music industry has kind of become with that fading away. Even with vinyls too, it's like beautiful, tangible. Like you could probably talk with anybody who was around in the 60s or 70s, and they could tell you stories of them going down to the record store to get the latest release of whatever they heard on the radio.
Oh heck yeah!
And how memorable that is.
Yeah.
Compared to today, what? You're sitting in your basement?
It's definitely different because I feel like you kind of associate that more with the song. Yeah. Like the actual image, opposed to if it's digital nowadays.
Right. The effort to go get it, to have to buy it, I mean, even now you walk into a record store, it's fun, it's cool. It's awesome. It's a good vibe. So I should try this. I don't know if this needs charged. Actually, it probably does. It's got a DC in.
Oh, that's chargeable.
Dude, imagine listening to So I'll Wait on This Puppy or some Forest Lake.
That'd probably suck.
All right, well, I will be looking into who's putting that out? Sony?
Sony.
I will be like, dude, plus, come on. Look how fucking cool I look right now. You know what I mean?
All right.
I used to I took this from my brother. This is my brother's, but like when I was young, I took his because he was older. He was born in 89, so he got all the cool stuff. Took this on the bus to school in like 4th grade. I was the coolest kid around. Who's putting that out? Sony?
Yeah.
I'm going to get in touch with Sony. In other news, I got to be careful. I don't want this to break. We have interesting story. Back in December of 2021 on a Saturday, December 18th, a guy by the name of Draco the Ruler, or Drakeo the Ruler.
Drakeo the Ruler?
Yeah, we got to go back in time here. Drakeo the Ruler was an up-and-coming hip-hop rapper artist out of L.A. I think the reason why you may not know of him is because he was fatally stabbed on that day. Not that we want to continue talking about death of artists, But
this is a very morbid podcast.
I know they're gonna be immediately turned off by this. He was fatally stabbed backstage at an LA event music festival put on by Live Nation and Snoop Dogg. Also featured in this music festival was 50 Cent and Ice Cube. So this was kind of a big deal, right? His actual name was Daryl Caldwell. We want to always pay respects to people's real names if they're using a stage name. So Drakeo the Ruler, a.k.a. Daryl Caldwell, at 28, was stabbed at around 8:30 p.m. after a fight broke out. Now, why is this relevant today? Well, Live Nation has been in a back-and-forth lawsuit battle from the family and possibly others who state that there was not enough security at the event for the prevention of this tragedy. Live Nation this week had submitted a basically an appeal. They asked the judge if it could be rejected, this ridiculous lawsuit in their terms. The judge rejected their notion to dismiss the lawsuit, and basically the lawsuit stated that security was so laxed, specifically at the second security checkpoint, despite the fact that there were security guards and metal detectors.
Wait, so I don't mean to interrupt, but
go ahead.
Is it on Live Nation to provide security for anything that they do?
Well, for their event, absolutely it is. But the concept here is, did Live Nation know that there was, like, ahead of time, could it have been prevented had they known that there was a little more need for security for him? Like, it basically, was there a target for Drakeo the Ruler? Now we have to provide adequate security for...
How did he get stabbed, though?
From what I was reading, it was a fight that broke out, but basically it turned into like kind of like a mob mentality. So it could have obviously been, backstage. So it basically was probably a madhouse of people, and somebody stabbed him, or multiple people, depending on who he was involved with. We talked about how it seemingly is hip hop artists that have bad connections in their past, or just, enemies.
Yeah.
This isn't ruling out the merits of the allegations, rather more so just that the case can proceed into further investigation. So basically, Live Nation says, hey, listen, we provided the most adequate security. It's just we didn't know that there was there was no foreseeing that he was going to be targeted. So, like, how could we be accused of, like, not having security?
Yeah, exactly. How would they know?
Right. I don't personally think they should be held liable, but that's what this case is going to determine, whether or not there was enough evidence prior to the tragedy that, hey, there should have been more security. There should have been this. Yeah. There should have been these checkpoints, or everybody. I guess they're also saying that not everybody was thoroughly checked. The family is, that is.
That's kind of crazy. When I first heard that headline, I didn't know it was like the actual artist who got killed. I thought it was just someone backstage, like a fan, or like a passerby or someone.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. No, that took a turn. As soon as you read that off, I was like, wow.
It is sad. Rest in peace is to, I don't know why I said that. That was just a singular rest in peace. Both times I've had to do that is because there were multiple people that were resting in peace. Rest in peace to him. It's unfortunate because as artists, we wouldn't want that to happen to us or a fellow community member in the industry. And then also just like, I mean, who knows what he could have became in this industry. So unfortunately he hasn't had the chance. It's just a tragedy. But yeah, it was the artist that took the knife to the back. Actually, I don't know if it was in the back. Could have been anywhere, but I was trying to make a metaphor there. Okay, for the last topic of the day, before we let you guys get out here, or go out there and enjoy your weekends, and we go do the same. I'm excited to just read this to you and just
what do you got?
Hear the reaction. Disney Plus is set to release a docu-special titled Bono and the Edge, A Sort of Homecoming with David Letterman. Coming out March 17th. It's a feature-length docu-special. That means it's like up to 2 hours.
Yeah.
For the record, if you don't know, Bono and the Edge are two members of U2. Real names Paul Houston, David Evans.
Oh, why would you do that to me?
What?
Why would you do that to me?
Bring back U2 in the conversation?
No, say the real names. I could have gone my whole life not knowing that, just knowing them as Bono and the Edge.
For the people at home, you probably can't even remember what their names were.
I heard David.
That's it? That's all you remember?
David something.
Then we're fine. I'm not. Literally happened 30 seconds ago. Okay. I am really excited about this. If you don't know, then you know now. I'm a big YouTube fan. Probably too much. So, but they are releasing a docu-special with David Letterman, filmed by Academy Award-winning filmmaker Morgan Neville, where he basically just captures David on his first trip to Dublin to hang out with U2 in their hometown and capture a live performance unlike anything that U2 has ever done.
That's pretty cool.
How is that for dramatic?
I like that. When's that happening?
I guess it's already happened. They're just releasing it March 17th. There's actually supposed to be a trailer out right now.
March 17th? March 17th, you say?
March 17th.
Is that St. Patrick's Day?
Oh,
no, I think, is it the 14th or something?
No, it is the 17th.
That is the 17th?
It's quite far away. It's too far for me.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go.
Yeah, go share some beers at the pub.
The points of Guinness.
I have a terrible accent, but I do try.
You do the
with
car,
the Irish accent.
You do the car thing.
We can't get you very far without the car.
The car thing.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's a work in progress.
And we just lost a couple more people watching the show.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you, Brennan. That's it for the day for me.
Yeah, that's all I got. I had one smaller thing. Just the Jonas Brothers are back. That's it.
Please,
that's all I got.
Please do tell.
That's literally it.
What do you?
The last album they had was 2019. Happiness Begins. That was their last album together, and apparently they have a new album. Music's done, everything's done, just not released. Coming out soon.
How excited are you?
Oh, I'm so pumped.
Dude, honestly, I don't mind the Jonas Brothers. I kind of grew up with them on the Disney Channel or whatever they were on.
Yeah. I feel like we know what we're going to expect with this one, but you never know.
On a side category of them, like just to see them all kind of go do their own thing has been amazing. Nick Jonas and Joe Jonas. I think Kevin he's always around with them, but he doesn't really do his own thing.
Aren't they all like dads? No,
I think so.
Like that happened quick.
Yeah. The one dude was in Cake. Nick Jonas was just releasing solo. Kevin Jonas did his own guitar stuff with them here and there. But man, talk about ending this podcast on a good note. The Jonas Brothers are back.
I mean, I'm not that excited.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I will be excited though to hear the album. I mean, it might. What if it's good?
We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see who produced it.
It's so weird. Like the Jonas Brothers, like we're teenage girls. Like
you're the one getting all excited for this. I'm just here relaying news, guys.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy that on CD.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna plop that thing in my little.
You do that.
CD maker.
Get the Sony Walkman,
and I'm gonna be rocking out right here.
Yeah. That's it, though. That's all we got for this week.
That's all we got.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace out.